What's going on, my fellow rock and rollers? Don't forget to hit the bell notification icon to be notified every time I put out a new video on my channel. 2000 was a year full of turmoil for Rage Against the Machine. While the band would release a new covers album and record and play some shows, in addition to recording a live record, there was wild speculation that the band was done. Then the news dropped on Wednesday, October 18th from frontman Zack De La Rocha that he was done with the group, announcing, "I feel that it is now necessary to leave Rage because our decision-making process has completely failed. It is no longer meeting the aspirations of all four of us collectively as a band, and from my perspective has undermined our artistic and political ideal." So how did we get here? Stay tuned to find out. Rage Against the Machine formed 9 years prior in 1991, channeling a wide spectrum of influences including Led Zeppelin, Bob Dylan, and even Devo. The band would establish itself as one of the most groundbreaking, incendiary, and politically driven bands of the 90s, going on to sell almost 20 million albums. And for years, rumors of infighting plagued the band though, and the news of De La Rocha leaving didn't come as a shock to guitarist Tom Morello, who would reveal that he was amazed that the band lasted as long as it did, telling interviewer Simon Young, "Rage Against the Machine has been a tremendously volatile rock roller coaster for 9 whole years. It actually comes as something as a surprise that the original lineup has remained intact all this time. It's important to emphasize that Rage Against the Machine have not broken up. Zack has left the band. Tim, Brad, and myself will continue to make groundbreaking music," he'd say. Now, the news of Zack's departure wasn't well timed, given that almost a month after he left the band, the group was set to release their new album titled Renegades, which featured covers of artists including Devo, the MC5, Bruce Springsteen, as well as the Rolling Stones. In addition to that, the band also had a live album coming out as well. Morello would act diplomatically in the same interview, stating, "We parted company on good terms and we wish him well. There's been some confusion over this record since it coincides with Zack's departure. It's a studio album with Zack as the vocalist. For Timmy, Brad, and myself, we're really proud of this record and want everyone to know about it," he'd say. And according to Morello, Zack wanted to take up to 2 years off until they began work on their next record, with 2003 being the next planned album for the group. So what happened? Some point to an incident at the MTV Video Music Awards where bassist Tim Comerford crashed Limp Bizkit's acceptance speech. And the bassist's actions reportedly angered De La Rocha, who left the award show early, telling reporters he felt humiliated. Others point to the fact that it was deeper than that. It was around this time that Zack would tell the press, "It's not unique among rock bands to find occasional dissension, but compared to the music we make and the causes we pursue, it's not so interesting." And Morello was more evasive, saying, "Let's just say Rage Against the Machine's forces made us burn brightly and burn quickly. That's been a constant tension that's been an enormous challenge for us all over the years. Zack did what he had to do," he'd say. Now, at the time of De La Rocha's departure, the remaining members of the band vowed to continue to make music together, but it wasn't immediately clear as to whether it would be done under the Rage Against the Machine moniker or as part of a new side project. And new frontmen were rumored to be working with the bands, including Be Real from Cypress Hill. And it wouldn't be until years later that other members of the band were a little more open as to what happened behind the scenes. During an appearance on Lars Ulrich's interview show, It's Electric on Beats One, Morello would reveal, "I'll put myself first and foremost. It was a lack of emotional maturity in being able to deal with each other as people. We had political vision and the shows never suffered, but we couldn't agree on stuff, and that sort of unearthed feelings that made it hard to make records. I think there were competing visions of what Rage was supposed to be, and competing feelings about what it was like to be in the band that we didn't deal with. My version of the band was, let's make a record every 6 months, let's be the political Led Zeppelin, and let's overthrow the government, and make the best records anyone ever did. By Wednesday, go, go." And Morello says in retrospect that he now sees he wasn't necessarily understanding of the feelings of his bandmates. And in the years that followed Rage's demise, the remaining members minus De La Rocha would form Audioslave with former Soundgarden frontman Chris Cornell. The band would last until 2007. In the same year, Rage would reunite to headline Coachella, but new music was off the table. Morello revealed during an interview why new music wasn't happening, saying, "We got together in 2007 and we had a great time. We had fun on stage, off stage. It felt like there was a lot of camaraderie, but one of the things that kind of helped that and took off the table was everything had been so controversial before. Writing music, doing interviews, having a manager. We're just not going to do that stuff. We're just going to go play some shows and have a nice time, and be able to look at each other in the eye and have a nice time and not be anything that stirred controversy in the past." It was during 2008 that Zack would form his own band titled One Day as a Lion, which blended rock and rap together and featured John Theodore, the former drummer of the band the Mars Volta. Rage would continue to perform until 2011 when they took a break, and no new music has been released, and in the years that followed, different members of the band gave varying accounts as to whether we'd see new music. In 2016, the members of Rage minus De La Rocha formed the supergroup Prophets of Rage, with Chuck D of Public Enemy and Be Real of Cypress Hill. They would put out original music while also covering music from their respective bands during live shows. They would disband by 2019, setting up the stage for another Rage Against the Machine reunion. The band was scheduled to tour extensively in 2020, but then everything changed, as we all well know. So that does it for today's video, guys. Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. If you have suggestions for future topics, let me know in the comment section below. Take care.